See that you're born an Italian if you want your life to be great. See that you're born an Italiano and your life will be great.
How about some Donatello?
That's a nice.
Hey there, Paisani, and welcome back to another dose of Italian-American heritage, history, and hilarity, the Italian-American podcast. I'm John Viola, along with my partner in crime, the Italian-American Wikipedia, Mr. Patrick O'Boyle. We are coming to you from the corner of Mulberry and Grand at Red Sauce Studio here in the heart of Manhattan's Little Italy. We are very, very excited to be with you today. We have a great guest coming up on a topic that I think every Italian-American family out there listening has some relation to, which is our musical nature as Italians. I've said on a couple of episodes, I think each one of us somehow secretly feels like we're one chromosome away from Caruso, and that's become kind of my motto of Italian Americans. We all have a hidden singer somewhere in us, I think, in our confidence, right? Is that fair?
My grandmother used to sing when she cooked.
Everybody, yeah.
That's true.
I mean, my whole family, everybody sings different, karaoke microphones made for us.
Heritage, hilarity, what's the new thing?
Heritage history, it's multi-years old.
Did you come up with that?
I did, yeah.
Recently?
No, like a couple years ago.
And I never caught on to that.
I was using it. No, I wasn't using it on the microphone much. I was using it in our advertising.
Because all these people that we're faith, food, and I hate effing like F words. Not the like the three Fs like.
You mean not have three H's? Is that?
No, I'm trying to say, but we are people of it's like we branded ourselves before branding became a thing.
No, I mean
we mottoed.
What are you supposed to say in an advertisement?
You're never going to hear me say something positive.
No, that's true.
Why would you turn to me as if I had a solution without a criticism?
That's a great point.
I'm going to have a criticism, and I'm going to stand back.
That's true. You are not a solution.
I just tell everybody we're dressed like we're in Mao's China.
It's
but we're in the blue version.
But one of our guests called yours a chore coat.
Chore coat.
That's interesting. I never thought of that.
I feel like I'm with it now.
I know. That does seem. Mine's just a JCPenney sweatshirt.
Is this like what they used to wear, that leisure suit?
What, in Mao's China?
No, but remember in the 70s?
Oh, yeah.
They had like the big collar.
I think so, yeah.
You think if we wait around, the leisure suit's going to come back?
You never know. There was a point a couple of years ago, people were wearing like safari jackets. I went out and bought one. I wore it once. I looked like an idiot.
Pith helmets?
I have a pith helmet. I have a pith helmet from Italy, actually.
This.
Yeah. Just why not?
We're sick people. What comes into our minds?
I never understood what
I
a
saw
pith
you. I'm like, we look like we're in Mao's China.
It is. I know. I feel like we're
instead of little blue books, it's still little red books. Those little blue books.
Little red, white, and green books. That'll be our.
Did you ever read Mao's book? I wonder what he has in there.
Who the heck knows? I mean,
I bet you no one's ever read it. There might be nothing in there.
There's a lot. If you have a book, we know some people who have their own manifesto books. If you have your own book that you like avow as like, here's a guide to do something better, it scares me.
We are the nation of self-publishing.
That is
I
true.
have a story to publish. If there's no publisher who thinks it's worthy, I'm gonna
show them.
Show
I
them.
know. Self-publishing is a blessing and a curse.
Should we write a book?
No, not unless we have a book that's worthy of really being
called
published.
Rambling.
We'll just put
have John
the
Naples
transcriptions
sit back
of these
and
episodes.
The best quotes that we've had, and they'll just ramble. We'll call it rambling. How do you say rambling in Italian? I don't even know.
It's a great question.
Is there a word for rambling?
Look that
Rambling. Rambling. We'll call it with two R's.
The ramblings of the two R's.
We don't even drink. Imagine if we did drugs or drank.
Be nice, actually.
We might go to sleep. That might be the answer.
We'd probably be asleep on the camera right now.
Rambling.
Someone criticized me and said I interrupt and I go on tangents. Like, well, and they know me. Like, where have you been the last 49 years? You just got the memo on this?
That should be the warning before the show. Like, if interruptions and rambling
is not your
thing, turn around, go find another podcast. This is not the place for you.
You know why we got a real Italian today? Because they came with cake.
Yeah, why don't you introduce our guest? This is a guest of yours. You've been selecting.
Vittorio.
How do you know
We're
Vittorio?
excited to have because we bring excellence.
Introduce Vittorio Di Carlo to our audience.
We bring excellence to the table. Excellence in food. Excellence in publishing. Excellence in writing. We've got a lot of categories now.
Architecture.
Yeah. And we have excellence in journalism. and we have excellence in music.
Yes, definitely.
So why don't you tell the
definitely.
people out there in podcast land a little bit about yourself?
Should we start? Should I start singing "Brindiamo"? Brindiamo,
But we can't.
Brindiamo.
Can we do that with water?
With the water? Yeah, it's okay.
I'm afraid. I
Yes,
got
yes.
superstitious.
My name is Vittorio Di Carlo, aka the Graceful Tenor. Actually, the Graceful Tenor came out from my wife. She started saying, "What's the name? We can come up with that."
That's good. She gave you a nice name. She didn't call you a bad
That's
name.
very nice. Yeah.
Actually,
That's a good
because
sign.
actually because my voice, there is different type of tenors. So my voice is tenore di grazia, graceful tenor. So it means that my voice I came up like as a talent. Some tenors they go to school to become a tenor. So mine, I had my talent. So I started to singing. I went to school to the High School of Music in Hartford, Connecticut. And but since I was little, I always start singing. Like 7 years old, I started singing. I win some Italian competition all over Italy. My voice was always deep, and everybody would say, "You should do opera. You should do opera." But my parents always like over there in Italy. They always say, "What are you gonna do with this?"
That's international.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what are
got
you
the
gonna do?
same thing, yeah.
Go find something else. Go find a different job. Don't do this. But thanks to my wife in 2014, the dream came true. I started to do opera.
Wow.
And now here I am. Yes, I did a pop in Italy. I was a pop singer, but there is a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of competition. So I stopped around
There's
like 9.
bureaucracy in Italy? What a shock. Oh, wow.
So I say, I stopped around. I was like 20 years old. I say, all right, you know what? I cannot do this job anymore. If I was missing singing. I like singing. I sing everywhere. My kids are tired to listen to me singing, but I love what I do now. And God bless America. So I had this opportunity to be here with you guys. It's an honor
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
to share my story and talking and have fun.
What were you doing before you decided to go into opera 10 years ago?
So I was a registered nurse.
Really?
Yes, I'm still a nurse in the United States. I need to pass the NCLEX. There is the national boards for but I still like study. But right now I'm a manager for a company, so I'm happy like that in singing. But before I was a registered nurse in Italy.
Oh, what a difference to just decide you're going back into music. That's fantastic.
The music was always there.
Yeah.
Even if I stopped at 20 years old, I always was dreaming like a night and day. Still dreaming.
So you primarily sing opera now?
Nah, pop
No.
opera.
Pop
Pop
opera.
opera.
Explain to our audience what makes pop opera pop.
So practically pop opera, do you know Il Volo?
Sure.
So they do pop opera. Andrea Bocelli, he does pop opera. Pop opera, similar, is a crossover singer. We going from pop, singing pop songs. They can be normal Italian songs, classical from Domenico Modugno, Jimmy Fontana, also Umberto Tozzi, Gloria, do songs like at beat too. And we go to opera, so we mix it. There's like a fusion for two different genres. So we do a fusion, and with my voice, when I sing like a normal song, like C'è la luna mezzo mare, for example, my voice it comes like deeper, comes like opera. So I do like a pop opera.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't understand that, but now you do. You did a good job teaching.
Very good.
So it's like a gentleman's motto with an operatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As if Caruso sung
Mezzo
it.
mare, mamma mia, mamma di tare, tare, tare. This is opera.
Wow.
So he said, "C'è la luna," it goes like more classical.
I sound like Lou Monte when I sing. See, I don't know what you call that. Pop, pop farmhand. I don't know what I sound like. I sound like I'm singing in the fields. But it's, this is why you have an operatic voice.
And over here, give me the opportunity to mix both genres. And I love to do that because Italian American people love that. They will love the classical opera, but it can be a little bit sometimes not boring, but heavy.
Mhm.
You have to be there for
Heavy,
sometimes like 3 hours and listen, this different aria. They're not even songs, they're aria.
What's
And-
the difference between an aria and a song?
Aria is it's it was right, for all these famous, autori, like Vivaldi, Giuseppe Verdi, Giuseppe Mazzini. So those are all the real writers.
But-
the songs is like more like you put like more upbeat. You can put like more notes.
But do you have to be from an opera to be an aria? Is that the precondition?
Yes. If you do opera, it's aria.
An aria
it's
is a
an aria.
component part
It's
of
a
an opera.
component,
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
that-
the larger.
So you could have written a
Musical
song
production.
that never made it into an opera, so
Right.
it stays
you
a
can
song.
You can definitely do that. But
And
there is always
And when it gets into the
Things that-
opera, it becomes an aria.
correct.
We're
Yeah.
learning a lot today.
The operas, it's interesting because I'm an opera fan, but yeah, it can be heavy, and it depends on the opera. And it depends.
There is a lot of atti.
Yeah.
Act.
Yeah.
So you had to follow. And
Yeah,
I did a couple times, and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. You do different personaggi, different characters. But I like to be in the public. I like to just sing in mezzo alla gente, in the public, and do the classical Italian American songs.
the interesting thing about opera to me is that, and I correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's
No,
the
no.
case in all places. It's still done without any vocal assistance. There's no microphones. There's no
Correct.
right. There's no.
Correct.
So
Yes.
the opera is an experience to me that, well, you can get like modern productions and they have, the stage might spin and whatnot. But, you go into an opera house and there's no air conditioning. It's like, it's warm. You know what I mean?
warm.
The people radiate a little heat.
But you don't know why.
Yeah, because it's bad for the voice, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And the microphone is l'involucro, we say, the theater globe, whatever
Right.
you have in the theater.
That's your microphone.
Microphone.
Right. The shape of
And
the
what
theater.
the shape, whatever you sing, if you sing this way, it's gonna be deeper, the voice. If you go this way on the front, it's gonna be, open there, but the voice is gonna be less.
Oh,
So
wow.
you're always gonna sing, where there is like the impact of the wall.
So-
And you can hear like more the voice. That's why when you see the opera singers, they always do like that.
Really?
The voice.
I didn't know
Because-
that.
Yes, because you go straight to the wall, and the wall
Throws it
like
back.
that's right,
Yeah.
the song. I mean the aria.
It's funny.
So could I just ask a question? I think I
Yeah.
learned something else.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, San Carlo Opera House in Naples is horseshoe shaped.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the
I mean,
acoustics.
they all like that. They all like that.
I just thought it was for the viewing. It was easier.
No.
That's because in an
It's
age before
projected,
microphones.
Correct.
Son of a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
If
mean,
you-
sorry.
No.
If you go to Greek, all these Greek amphitheater, you say, right, or the Romans, they all like that, because they had the actors.
I never
and whatever,
realized
yeah.
that.
If you think about going, like, if you go to Grand Central Station here in New York City, right? You go down by the Oyster Bar and you
Yes.
whisper into one of the corners. It like curves
Yes.
over, and you could hear the whisper on the other. We could show you a picture of it. Nikki could pull up a picture, but your voice carries. And there's places
Yes.
like that in the world where the architecture is such that you can like whisper and it'll travel along the wall. So it makes a lot of sense that that's
Yes,
the, and
yes.
I remember, I think one of the first times you and I did a work trip with Princess Beatrice to Naples, we started at the San Carlo, and they explained to us the San Carlo Opera House is the largest in Italy. It's still the oldest in Italy.
I think so.
I think it's the oldest too.
I think so. Yeah.
It's burned down a couple of times, unfortunately, but it's beautiful right in the heart of Naples. And they were telling us that in one of the more recent renovations, they discovered inside the walls were constructed in the original 1730 whatever construction from terracotta amphoras, big jars that people
Yes.
would use to transport liquids and things, turned in towards with the neck of the jars in towards the audience and then put in the wall. So part of the sort of science of that was when the sound would come through the wall, if it wasn't bouncing back, it would reverberate around the jars and come back out. So it was a natural amplification. To think about the idea that in I think it was the 30s, 40s, whatever, there was enough understanding of something as
We come from smart people.
that's amazing, really. Yeah, I find that.
Not cooperative.
Not cooperative, but smart. But that's one of the beautiful things about opera, classical opera to me,
Yes,
is the idea that it's a very raw relationship between the singer and the audience.
Yeah, I mean, because of course, they started opera and they didn't have microphones back then, so that's why they had to come up with solution to let it, they get the impact with the voice of the tenors or soprano or baritono, different type of singers. But it's amazing how they came up with all, and opera is well known everywhere, all over the world.
What are the songs that Americans request? Are there certain ones that you get hit with all the time?
Con te partirò,
Oh,
Bocelli.
Bocelli made that famous.
Yes. I think that one is one of the most famous that I've been singing.
Years ago, it used to be Mama. I hate that song.
You hate Mama?
I
hate that
sing Mama.
song.
I sing Mama when I see a lot of young crowd.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say elderly, So, and believe it or not, the Mama songs. Every time I sing this song, most of the people crying.
They start
Yes.
crying.
They start
And-
crying,
Yeah.
and because it's very touched.
There's no more. Sanctified and adored relation than the Italian mother. So that song should. I mean, of course, it makes everybody cry because every Italian looks at their
Yes.
mother like she's the Blessed Mother, right? I mean, that's.
But it's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And when I sing that song, I feel good. I feel like, and there is another song also.
You know why I hate
That-
that song? Just tell
Why?
you why. Because when I was a kid, they would always ask for Mom, and then they all start crying.
Yeah.
So I just picture a lot of old Italian ladies in house dresses.
It's true.
Have them sing Mama,
Yeah.
and then they'd all start crying. For people who spent all their time at wakes, that were constantly going to wakes, like every time I smell carnation, that's why I hate the smell of fresh flowers, because my whole life, every time there was fresh flowers, there was a dead body there, right? So for people who spent their time going to see dead bodies, then when you finally go to something happy, you got to get a sad song, and everybody starts
That's so
crying.
true.
But I didn't mean to interrupt you, because what do I do? I interrupt.
no.
Then I want to go on the record.
That's very true.
My Mama issue.
Everybody in my family cries. And,
I don't know, talking about flowers, right? I see over here, a lot of people, when they go to birthday parties or something like it, that's supposed to be funny, it's supposed to be a nice, event. They bring this, what's it called, incarnation, right?
Carnations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Carnations, right? For Italy, for me, for Italians, you bring it to the dead people.
That's
at the
it's a
cemetery.
flower of death. Yeah.
When I saw the first time, I said, "What the heck are they doing?"
Yeah. So there's a gap there.
Mums,
There's a
mums
gap.
they use in Italy a lot too. Mums is a death
Mums,
flower.
yes,
Yeah, mums is.
yes, but more the carnation, a lot.
Don't they look alike, mums and carnations?
No,
No.
Nikki, we're gonna have to throw those on the screen. And what is a mum? What verse
Yeah.
next to carnation? For me, I would never know. I couldn't tell you the difference. But yeah. Guess that-
Carnation-
Oh yeah, I can see carnations a little frilly. They look more like a rosy. Yeah, I got that.
yes, we call the Igarofa.
Yeah.
Garofani.
So, but what other songs do you get requested? You mentioned in one.
So, as I said, when I do a lot of events, a lot of Italian American events, I do a lot. Starting from May to November, a lot. Every weekend, from Thursday to sometimes Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And of course, again, people, they like to listen some upbeat songs too. And it comes that I had to sing some songs from, for example, I Ricchi e Poveri.
Oh yeah,
Maria, Mama.
it's my daughter's favorite song. She's 3. She loves Ricchi
And people,
Poveri.
they love that.
Yeah.
I need the Parmigiano commercial now. I hear that song. Yeah. That was the commercial. Yeah, you remember the commercial?
Yes, there is. Yes.
Because every time I hear
Yes.
that song, I expect for like a wheel of Parmigiano. I'll be like, yes, now.
And neo-Napolitan songs
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the
is the
best.
it.
That's the
Yeah.
The neo-Napolitan songs. So my best one that I always sing is Funicoli Funicola. Yeah, actually, I don't see a lot of singers here in America singing that song. It's a very hard song.
That, by the way,
You need-
that's a
yes.
song I hate.
You don't like that song?
Hate that song.
Because it's overplayed.
For a lot, I hate it for myriad of reasons. It's overplayed. It's it was used for a board game commercial when we were kids
Oh, really?
called the Grape Escape. You'd make grapes out of Play-Doh. Nikki, let's see if we can get this video and run it in the back.
Okay,
Grapes out of Play-Doh, and you have to get the grape across this like treacherous board and smash it. You lost it, but
This is a Brooklyn game? I never
no, it was,
thought
on, it was like Parker Bros. Video. It was like that's the way it's going when you play the
Oh,
Grape
okay.
Escape, and it drove me nuts.
Escape game.
And it is deep, and I also think, I had music in the car one time, and had a driver, and that song came on, and the driver said, "Oh, I love this song. It must be so romantic, and it's so vigorous. I said, actually, it's a commercial. Basically, that's a commercial jingle for the funicular
Correct.
in Naples.
Correct.
That was an advertisement, right? That
Yes.
was like that was like if 100 years from now
Yes.
somebody took a cheese commercial and put it in the great songbook. That's
Yeah.
why it bothers me.
Yeah.
But anyway, people like it.
No, they love it. They love it, and and I'm trying to do this song because I see, okay, so it works, because you see the people involving and dancing, and I do that one, and start do a lot of tarantella songs, Come t'ha fatta mamma te.
I like that song.
Right.
Nice song.
Or,
How
I
your
mean-
mother made you, that is. Yeah.
Yes,
That's a whole other episode.
It's a whole other episode, yeah.
and and you go to the most famous, C'è la luna in mezzo al mare. C'è la
Which
luna
most
in mezzo
people
al
do
mare.
not understand
Most people don't
the
understand that
meaning
song.
of those words.
Right.
If they're a
right.
long-term listener, we've explained it a few times.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
naughty
it's-
song.
it's
We'll
a
leave it
naughty
at that.
song.
Yeah.
Correct. But,
Cheeky.
I always introduce the song saying, this comes from the Godfather's movie, El Padrino. I think it was the first one.
It was in the first one, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So everybody said, that song is look like everybody go crazy with that song. I
That
don't
is
know why.
that song's the Italian American national anthem.
It is.
It
It
is,
is. Actually, it is. Yes.
It is. Yeah. People say things like they used to call Mala Femmina the Italian American
No.
national anthem.
No.
Some people say, O Sole Mio and stuff, but because it was written on a boat on the way from America to Italy, right?
Yes.
By somebody who was living here. It's sort of a pigeon. You get it in multiple different,
There had to be a proto folk song
Yeah,
from some town.
There,
I think.
yes, there are versions that you can access earlier. Well, I think when we had Michela Mussolino on the show, we talked about some
That
of
was
the
that
older.
was a double episode. We
that was
really
a
nerded
long
out.
while back.
That was
yeah.
super. That was a super nerded
Yeah,
out.
we could definitely do a video
so.
getting to the root of Cielo Luna Metsumari, but it's the Italian American national anthem
Yes.
in my mind.
Yes.
Everywhere I've ever seen it and go, people react to it.
But what I think for the Italian who came here around the 80s, the Italian anthem song is number one is L'Italiano.
L'Italiano. Yeah.
That one everybody knows, and which I sing.
That's for the Italians who came like post-war. Their anthem
Correct.
is L'Italiano.
Yes,
And then
yes.
some of us who were here earlier, we jumped on board with that. It's like the
Right.
number 2 anthem.
That's like the Nutella anthem.
yeah, that's the anthem of Nutella, Italy.
The
Yeah.
Nutella Italy.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
That's true.
But for those of us who came before World War II, the anthem is Cielo Luna Mitsumari.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But
Oh.
yeah, L'Italiano. And it's funny because people always make fun of it from Italy. Like, oh, it's old passe. So we've had people tell us, like, we can't play this at different events. But for our people here, it's another anthem.
John, the thing I always said everywhere, wherever I go, the United States, wherever I go singing, I always, all Italian festival I do, I always feel home because I'm from the 80s, 1981.
Right,
was
yeah.
born in 1981.
Yeah.
So I was, I grew up with those music, with kind of music. My parents, they would listen to that music, and I love singing. I will never stop singing that type of music because, we still have people who love the music.
Yeah.
From the 1950, from the 1980, 1990 songs are nice too, but it start going down because they start coming up with different type of music and songs.
I have
Now-
a theory. I have a lot of theories on stuff I have competency in, and stuff I have absolutely no competency.
Yeah.
I often say that 1994 was the last year
Yeah.
because the Sanremo Festival of '94
Yes.
had so many hits.
Yes.
I mean, it's really like, in my opinion, because I have no background in music, right? So you might as well ask the wall, right? I can't back it up with facts, but
Which one was it from 1994?
oh, you
There's
just
so
go
many.
go. There's so many songs that came out of that. Laura Pausini
I mean,
is new.
Yes.
Andrea Bocelli, like they're all like starting
Georgia.
out, and those years, and then I just feel like it went off. If you go on YouTube, it's all on there, and I just feel that '94. Like I don't think that Sanremo ever like that kind of like out of the park. Like when people look for Sanremo songs, so for people, we probably a lot of people here that don't know Sanremo. How would you explain it to them, Vittorio, to the listeners who don't know what we're talking about? The Sanremo Music Festival.
So, believe it or not, I tried so many times to be on Sanremo, and it happened recently, like maybe 7 years ago, that I was going to, send one of my original song to Sanremo Giovani. They told me I was, old
You're not
be in
giovane
Sanremo.
enough?
Yeah, not giovane enough. You know, and I spoke with actually the director back then. His name was Massimo Scotto, Massimo Cotto, that he was one of the major manager from the Virgin Radio in Italy. He passed away this year, and he told me, "So your song is unbelievable, it's beautiful, but the age is not there." I felt so disappointed because that was my dream. It's still my dream, but I had another opportunity to be a Rai when I did the New York Canta that they do over here, and I was in 2021 one of the finalists. And with the COVID, we had to do the festival in Milan, so I had to go to Milan to do the festival because they always do over here at the Oceania Theater. I think it's Brooklyn.
There used to be so many in the 90s. Microfono d'Oro.
Because,
There used to be all these
this one-
Italian song, like in the New York metro area, there were
Yeah.
so many Italian song contests.
But this one, it's
much
like,
less now.
Now you can see Rai Italia, Rai Due, Rai Play. So the Sanremo, it's basically I think they still do like that. Before you go to Sanremo, you have to go to another festival they called Castrocaro Terme, Castrocaro d'Oro. Yeah, it's Castrocaro Festival where most of the singers, they're autori. They made their own songs.
They wrote because
They wrote their own songs.
I don't
yeah.
know when they changed it, but up until not long ago, Sanremo was a festival for songwriters, not for singers.
Correct. That's why the
Yeah.
Castrocaro
Really?
Festival.
I never
Yeah.
knew
Yes.
that.
That's why a lot of years. I don't know when it changed.
They changed around like maybe around the 80s, around it.
It might be like 94 or something because what would happen was the songwriter would write a song and it would be sung twice by two different people.
Correct. There was a competition. Yes.
Yeah.
Two different.
So it was
yes.
about how you interpret, because the interpretations of the song was to highlight the quality of the songwriting.
Yes.
So you'd have it done by two different, singers or bands or groups or whatever. And that's what it started in 51.
Correct.
And that's that's what it was really. Now it changed at some point.
Wasn't Nila Pizzi the first winner?
That's a good question.
Maybe.
I don't
That's
know.
like an Italian trivia question.
Yeah.
That's
That
like
is a good
I think
Italian
that was
trivia
Nila
question,
Pizzi
yeah.
was the
That's gonna be
first.
good. But the duo, yes, you're
Was
right.
that Grazie
the
de
duo-
Fior?
Grazie de
Grazie.
Fior.
Was that
Or
her?
Vola Colomba Bianca Vola.
Was that it? I think it was. I just know that I have that memorized. One day when someone's going to
Maybe
ask
we
me,
can check.
and I'm going to
yeah,
know.
because another heat for
Because
this.
a lot of our listeners who don't really know this stuff is Sanremo happens every February.
Correct.
If I'm correct, in the 1950s. So Sanremo is in the north of Italy. It's a
Yes.
seaside town.
Yes.
And in the winter, business was low because you're not going to go on the beach.
Right.
So they came up with a song festival, and we call it Nutella Italy, right? It's after the war. TV comes out. Italy becomes unified on television with Rai, and so you have this song festival that comes out. And as John just articulated, it's a song festival for writers, but so many big acts in Italy, like so many people's fame
Yes,
started.
yes.
Famous Italian singers started because they performed at Sanremo,
Yes.
and the whole country used to tune in
Yeah.
to watch this song festival. And so many Italian iconic pop songs of the last 60, 70 years came out in Sanremo.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Domenico Modugno.
Yeah.
It became like.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I mean, if you-
Volare, he was-
Volare
yeah,
came out
yes,
of Sanremo.
Sanremo. But they started the Sanremo and in the casino.
Right.
They had one casino over there. That's what's called Casino.
Oh, that's
di
where it
Sanremo.
started?
They started, yes.
Ah.
And after they moved to the Teatro Ariston, the Ariston Theater, where they are now, which outside it looks like a garage. I've been there. It's like this is the theater, and when you go inside, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
But outside it's so small. You look like you pass it, it's looking like a big like a garage door.
I was in Italy in 2001, February, and I had one thing on my bucket list was to watch Sanremo in Italy.
Sanremo,
Really?
It's,
Yes, and I was in the.
We should go next year.
We should absolutely
That's,
go.
you
And
know,
I had the
it's crazy.
hotel
It's
booked. I had the hotel. I booked the hotel that I was going to be in a hotel in Rome before I left 2 nights, so I could watch Sanremo in peace. So I go downstairs because when in Italy they would have a TV room in the hotel, like a big TV.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one down there, and I sit down there, and who sits next to me? An English couple, right? And I say to them, so I just start talking, chit-chatting before, so I was like, oh, I'm like, Well, I have, because on my father's side, I got a lot of relatives in England. And they go, oh, you're Irish. And this was still when the Northern Irish stuff. They had to have a conversation with the entire San Remo.
Of course.
They had to ruin my whole San Remo
That's your fault,
night.
though, for talking to
That was my fault.
You set yourself up for that.
I set myself up for that, but that was like on my bucket list. I'm in Italy for San Remo, and I have to have this. I would have enjoyed.
We should go to San Remo, and we should do a.
I can give you a good
special.
contact.
Maybe we will.
I
Yeah.
can give you a good
Oh,
contact.
do they still get like all dressed up and stuff? It's like it's kind of like the Emmy Awards almost in the feeling of people going right, like
They
everybody
do the
going.
red carpet there.
Yeah,
They
that
do the
whole red carpet.
front. Yes, and they the next step from Sanremo is the Eurovision.
Right. Eurovision gets one song
Yes.
from each
Correct.
member
Who
country.
win- yeah,
Toto
right.
Cotugno won '92, right?
Yes,
That
yes.
was Insieme won that year.
Insieme, yes.
If you had to write down your top 10, like if someone said to you, I want your dream album of Italian pop songs that's in your repertoire,
It's
that you like, that you enjoy singing, what are your favorites?
I'm an old soul. I like singing in old songs. Sometimes people they say, "Hey, you're too young to." I love it because I was, again, I was born listen those songs from Jimmy Fontana. Il Mondo is one of my favorite songs that I sing every time, and I love to sing that song.
That is a beautiful song.
Yes,
Now when you think about it, that really is a...
it's beautiful. And what I sing that song is, half in Italian, half in English.
What year did that come out? In the 50s?
Yes.
Or the 60s?
No, I think around the 60s. It's kind of a little bit more, yeah. But it's really hard question. I love the Italian pop, musica leggera, cantanti di musica leggera, we say in Italian, pop Italian singers. But there is some singers that you may be surprised, but they were a huge hit in Italy, and they were like autori, they were writing their own songs.
Songwriters, yeah.
Luigi Tengo, he was one of the famous Italian singers that he killed himself because he lost one of I think the semi-final of Sanremo. Yes, he was so addicted with his Sanremo, like Albano, no?
Yeah.
Albano, he wants to this year, he wants to be in Sanremo. You said that the song is to Amadeus, he wants to be there. Sanremo is like a
drug.
It's a drug, because it's a big, big show.
I think it's like, as an American
Yes.
looking in, it's like Super Bowl Sunday in an Italian
Yes, it
version.
is,
Because
it
everybody
is.
has to gather to see.
It is like for me, I'm
Sanremo.
addicted. Like, I'm working at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because at 9 o'clock they do the anteprima, the beginning. So I need to watch it, and that the Sanremo started from 9 o'clock at night until like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, but it's beautiful. I mean, I enjoy it, and it's nice that I see that my kids too, they're there and watching it and learning, the Italian songs, and they get so excited, But, going back on the singers that I would love, to actually one day make my own album with all these singers, Luigi Tengo and Lucio Dalla, who wrote Caruso,
Yes.
right? Is another beautiful song that I always sing. I always sing that song. And actually, this summer, I was at in Sorrento, and there's this huge murales of Lucio Dalla in Sorrento. And next to murales, there is the statue of Enrico Caruso and Enrico De Curtis, who wrote the song Torna Sorrento.
Yeah.
So they're all there.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
I've never seen that.
Yes,
Statues?
there's a statue
Never seen that.
to the near to the train station of Sorrento. There is
I
a
never
statue.
noticed. Yeah.
Like a
A
bust.
bust.
A
A
bust,
busto, yeah.
and going downtown of Sorrento, you can find Hotel Vittoria, where Caruso was spending the days over there. The summer.
I've stood in his suite there.
You were there.
I did, yeah, because when we used to do a lot of work
Yes,
with
and
them,
it's-
and the family that owns it, I'm going to forget their name. I feel bad. Family that owns it has owned the hotel since 1840.
Yes.
And they supported the National Italian American Foundation. And one time when I went there and I was the president, they happened to have the suite open. They let me stay there. It was amazing.
That is
You're in
beautiful.
Caruso's room.
It is
You're looking out at the
beautiful.
I
lake.
never knew that. How is the balcony? Is the balcony
Huge.
There is a yes. There is a
But
balcony.
that balcony really exists.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
real.
Like
Yes.
where Caruso went out.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes,
that's
it's his balcony. I went
When
out
you
That's
there.
his
go-
balcony?
When you go inside to the hotel, there is a plaque. There's qui veniva.
It's one of the finest hotels on the planet, by far. I mean, it's
Expensive.
This is very expensive. Absolutely very expensive.
$10,000 a night.
Yeah.
God bless.
Some rooms, not every
Some
room is
some
$10,000
rooms, yes,
a night.
I mean, but
to think that one
Because Sorrento
family
is the Beverly Hills of Italy.
That's right.
And the
Correct.
people who come there
That's
have
true.
a lot of like
It's
class.
but think about the fact that one family has kept that place as one of the world's premier properties since 1840.
Yes.
I'm very proud of that. That's a business a southern business that pre-exists Italy. I'm always rooting for them, and they've been kind to me.
That'd be a great place to shoot a video of that song.
that's beautiful.
On the real
That's a
balcony.
beautiful,
Imagine
yes.
that.
I love the way
Lucio Dalla.
Lucio Dalla is fantastic, but Luciano Pavarotti.
Oh.
Luciano Pavarotti made that song nice, but
It's like a bomb when it comes
maybe
out.
somebody will say something. No, it's not true. Maybe it can be like go against me. But I like it, Josh Groban version. I don't know if you heard it.
Oh, really?
Josh Groban.
I gotta
yes.
go listen to it.
I
I never heard it.
Caruso, yes, and actually I use his track
Yeah.
because I love it. I love his track
Ah.
from Caruso. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. There's a lot of orchestra.
Yeah.
There's a lot of because the beginning of the original song of Caruso from Lucio Dalla is just the piano, like not even the piano, the keyboards. So the Josh Groban version, I love it. And then I always sing their version.
And the beautiful thing about these Italian songs is they're international. I mean, you could go any country in the world. You can go to
Yes.
Russia.
Yes.
You could go to Georgia and the Caucasus. You can go to South America. You can go to Argentina.
Yeah.
You can go to Japan, and they all know like these songs. It's really
Matter of fact, a lot of people.
it shows that Italy's a cultural superpower.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Italian. I mean,
Definitely,
think
yes.
about where Neapolitan music went around the world. I mean, look, opera in and of itself. We separate it from pop opera now, but it was pop music. It was theater. It was everything.
yes,
so
correct.
that went
yes.
around the world.
That was the music that everybody was listening.
You know what
right?
always impresses me? My grandmother always talk about, and my uncle gave them away. My great grandfather had the Edison, the records,
the wax rolls.
I think it was the wax rolls and the old phonograph
Wow,
records of
beautiful.
Caruso. He was illiterate,
Of course.
and the reason I think about it is that Italy, even when people didn't have the poorest people who didn't have economic opportunities, were still so much more cultured
Yes.
than people graduating sometimes today with advanced degrees. Like they really understood. Like, I mean, think about that.
They were eager to learn.
Yeah.
Because there was a limited education. So people, they were like, I mean, I see my grandparents, they were struggling, but they were eager to learn. They were trying to their best to make the family, living well. Like my grandpa, he went to work in Germany, and I see some picture of my father and my grandma alone. They were sending picture to my grandpa in Germany. It's kind of like sad that's today. If you think, it would be really like a shock.
Yeah.
We used to now with this social media, like even my story, how I met my wife. Right, we've been together 20 years.
Oh, we need to hear the story.
You want to hear the story?
We need that Hallmark Italian love story moment.
They can make a movie.
Wow.
Because my wife met my parents on a plane. My parents, they're coming here in 2005 for a vacation, and they don't speak English, right? So they had a hard time with the customer paperwork, and they heard my wife speaking like half in Italian, half in English. So they went. It was my wife. I said, "Can you help me, please? With this paperwork." And my wife was with her aunt, which they were coming back. They were coming back here. They were in Italy, and I'm from Puglia, and my wife's family, they're from Molise. They're really attached.
They
regions,
share a
right?
border.
So, sure enough, they were like an hour away from where I'm from. So, and my wife's aunt, she said to my mom, they're starting, have a familiar talking, and they say, "Oh, do you have a son for my?"
That's the most classic Italian conversation. That's the greatest Italian conversation of all time. Yeah, correct.
She's looking for it. She's looking.
They got to make Amashada.
Yeah,
They're in the
sure.
middle of
Yeah.
a calam, right? No, you can't get on the plane, this and that, but
Yeah.
But
they're
hold on,
always thinking.
We gotta tease this one out because now
Yeah,
was your
keep going.
wife Was your wife flipping out? Did she hear this conversation?
So my wife, so this is the thing. All the Italians, they came here, right? Everybody has relatives over there in Italy. They never come here to visit nobody. They will say, "Oh, we're gonna come to see you." They never come. So was her, her thought, because she was saying, "I'm sure this guy, he says he's gonna come here to visit me. He's never gonna come." So this is what happened when they exchanged the pictures.
Oh, your mother and her aunt swap pictures.
They swap pictures. So they wrote on the back before, like it was 20 years ago, we used to have a messenger, AOL.
Yeah,
Remember?
AOL Messenger, yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So they wrote, the email. So we started like chatting, me and my wife. And I didn't have a webcam. I didn't have a computers. So I used to go internet points.
Yeah.
The Indians people, they have these internet points in Italy. They have so many. I mean, they don't have anymore. Everybody has an internet.
Yeah, I remember
now,
internet
right?
cafes in Italy.
But 20 years ago, not everybody.
That's where you went, yeah.
Right. And I think I'm the first one of the first one in Italy having Facebook. Because before Facebook, there was for an
American college students.
Yeah, American college. So my wife, she enrolled me, to write.
Wow.
To do. So.
And you still hadn't met in person yet.
I didn't met in person yet. So we were. So my parents, they came here in it was August 2005. I said to my wife, we were start talking when they came back from their trip. They said we met this beautiful, family, and we met this beautiful lady.
But the Italians also they made a beautiful family. That's because they want to make sure that their kid's gonna marry into a good family. That's the first. They like the family, and then you could talk to the daughter because the family passed. Yeah, okay,
that's true.
So and back then, I was with another girl, but we were almost like at the end. And when I saw the picture of my wife, I said, "Wow, indeed, she is a
God bless America."
You got to the end real quick on the other one.
I start sending email like with a broken English, and she ends me back actually in Italian. I say, "Oh, this is an open door, so I can talk in Italian." And we start chatting, with the AOL, and at the end I said it was like a September after a month. I said, "Would you like if I come to visit you for Christmas?"
Oh, that Hallmark movie guarantee.
And she said, yeah. And she said, oh yeah, sure. But she didn't believe it because I said, now people from Italy come here all of a sudden. They say, oh, I want to go see, someone. And, I made all the paperwork, passport and stuff. And I met my wife for the first time in 2005. Back then, my in-laws, they were so mad because they're saying, you're going to bring strangers in our house. And her aunt, which, she...
Who's the broker?
Right. The broker, she said, no worries. I met...
his family, his parents.
On the plane.
They're good people.
They're so nice, good people. I'm sure the son is going to be the same. So 2005, since, now we've been together. We got married in 2011, and I moved here in 2010. But we were, since 2005 until 2011, we were doing back and forth. Sometimes I was coming here for 15 days, depend, back then I was doing, I was a registered nurse, so I was doing a lot of shift to have some days off, and I'll come here, and she was, actually in 2006, she came in Italy, and she was for a year there. She did a study abroad in Ascoli Piceno, which was not far from my college in Ancona, nella Marche.
Oh, yeah.
So, we would see each other like
we could do a musical with this. We could have a love story, and you could sing.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, this is going somewhere.
Write that down.
I didn't see this one coming.
Yeah.
You could be the executive producer.
Yeah, that would be nice. And you know what? This is always about my wife related. There is a God.
There is a God, 100%.
Because I'm like, she brought me close to God. I was like, all the Italian people, they go to Christmas, the church, Easter.
It's a cultural Catholicism.
Because, over there we have a church everywhere. So for us, it's like a common things,
In English, they call it Pace Catholic. Palm Sunday, Ash Wednesday, Christmas, and Easter.
Yeah, so,
P-A-C-E.
for me, it was like that,
Yeah.
So when I met my wife, that she's really religious, I got really into the religious, and there is a God. There is a something that get connected between us. I stopped singing 20 years old. I was 20 years old, And my wife, she was looking at pictures of me when I was little, singing. You know, having
Did
all
she
the-
really?
Yes.
You totally setting up the movie now.
Yeah.
So now your wife, before she ever gets on the plane, with
She was like, you know, sending from God. Like it was like a, you know.
she saw you as a kid singing.
No, she's
No,
looking
she
at old
saw
pictures.
Old pictures. She saw old pictures, and she saw all these, you know, copy, you know, these how you say awards, you know, on my parents' house.
Oh, that's
She said,
how.
Oh, she said, you know, you were singing. You know, this was in the beginning, right? And I say, yeah, I used to sing, but when we were getting into like when I moved here, you know, I was always singing in the house, always singing, and I met a friend that he's a famous tenor over here in New York. His name is Luciano La Monarca, which is president of the San
Padre
Carlo
Pio,
Foundation.
right, we know
another
Luciano, sure.
Pugliese.
Yeah. So he's heard me too, and he said, "Hey, listen." They say your voice is beautiful. You should keep going. I said, "Nah, I stopped like 10 years ago. I'm not singing anymore." You know, I was 30 when I moved here, and he said, "No, you should try." It was my birthday, July 14, 2014, and my wife, she gave me a present, and I opened it, and there was a lessons bel canto for the
Ah.
Aww.
yes. And when I saw, I said, "Wow!" I said, because with the Italian mentality, with where I'm from, you know, they always like, you know, they discouraggiano, like they
Discourage,
say,
yeah.
discourage, right? They always say,
We're not
gonna work."
we're not a positive people.
No, we're not.
Well,
We are
it's a
not.
risk averse culture.
Yes.
Don't
There's
risk.
yes.
It's not that it's a negative. It's not negativity. That's an over. I mean, it can be.
It can be.
It
but-
can be.
Have you met my
negativity.
mother?
Yeah, no, it can be. I know you well enough. It can be very negative, but there's a aversion to risk that's very built in. You know.
Yes, because I mean, talk about risk. You know, I see my brother. He has a lot of potential. He can do whatever he can in Italy. Now that I have my mentality open in here, you know, and I see him. He's a good dancer. He pop dancer, break dancer.
Oh, this
So,
is
yeah.
great. The singer and the dancer.
I know, right?
Wow, I got the movie. We got it. Hold on. The singer, the dancer, the love story.
Yeah.
You know, and I always say to him, "Listen, do it. Like, go do audition. You know, you're gonna make it." The mentality, no, I'm sure, you know, somebody else is gonna be better than me. Oh, I'm not gonna make it because there is a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of, you know. So was my mentality.
And it's not wrong. I mean, like that's the beauty of being Italian American, right? Because this is the land of opportunity. There is fundamentally
It is.
more opportunity
It
here
is.
than unfortunately
Yes.
there is in Italy. That's
It is.
endemic, and that's
Yes.
just the reality. And
Could I add to that?
Yeah,
Could
but-
you open up a door with that?
yeah,
The opportunity is here because you hit the nail on the head. In America, failure is one step closer to success.
right.
Where Italy is failure is condemnation.
Well, people don't think about like our bankruptcy laws. They're
sure,
one of the to me they're one of the signature things about America. It's like if everything falls apart, you brush off and you try again, right? That's
Yes.
America. And in much of the rest of the world, that doesn't exist. That much of the rest of the world is more cautious. So I think in this country, you have a system built for opportunity. You have all of the history of
Yes.
of you know the resources, the opportunity, whatever. But also you have people who are opportunistic who come here and believe in that. So that builds onto itself. That's why Italian Americans have been so successful because you take a people with all that potential for
Yes.
millennia and you
Yes.
put them into a country where you can risk and fail and try again
Correct.
and look at what it produces.
No,
I really
I mean,
believe that.
I like, God bless America. Like I
Yeah.
am so blessed, and you know, talking about, you know, back about my music career, right? So my music teacher from the Hart School of Music from Harvard, he was a famous bass. His name is Craig Hart, and he sang everywhere, in the opera house, the Met, everywhere, and he said, "Okay, so you know, we were kind of like at the end of the year academy. Say, okay, so are you ready to go somewhere and sing opera?" Say, okay. The first time I sang in the United States, it was at the bank.
At the
in a
bank?
bank. Yes. People, they were doing like their own, like, you know,
ATM transactions and stuff, yeah.
And I was there with the pianist singing E luce van le stelle.
Oh, beautiful song.
That's
Right.
even better for the movie.
You know? And I was singing there, you know, all of a sudden people, they were like, stop, you know, doing whatever they were doing. You know,
Is this common in Connecticut to have opera singers in banks? I always said Connecticut's a classy state,
It's a
but
classy state, that's
I
right.
never did an AT. I never walked into a Connecticut bank and had a baritone professional singer serenade me.
That's very
But the
strange.
thing is that my teacher said, he said this is the common place where everybody goes, where can be like a silence, because you cannot go to a restaurant and start shouting and singing, because there is a lot of commotion. Like,
Yeah.
they're not gonna listen. If you have like a big voice and start screaming and singing like loud, but he was like to show me like start to like in a place where I think nobody cares what they're doing, but they're gonna pay attention to you. So, and I started from there, and there was other episode where I start singing like into like a cemetery, because the people, they ask me, why they bury the people. And
People want
they
that,
want
yeah.
me to sing, and I sing, O Sole Mio, because this person who deceased, loved
That's their
the kind
favorite
of
song.
music.
and
Yeah, it was beautiful. Sometimes you got this,
Can I tell you, there's Italian people who there's American people I think that's wacky to hire someone to sing at a cemetery for a dead relative. But no, but I got a story to back it up.
so.
I know of an Italian lady in Jersey City who used to bring the radio to the cemetery for her husband.
Sure.
Yeah,
can
it's
believe that.
whatever
She
you
wanted to
want
make sure he heard it.
Yeah.
But I don't think people would think that's crazy.
Another type another time that I sing, there was this guy that he died too, and the family asked me to, while there was this carriage with horses. It was this big Italian guy.
That's how I want to go. He had the hearse with the horses. Yeah,
yes.
I already
And
told my
was
brother
me
that's on my to
Yeah,
do.
I
That's
think
on my
that's a good
checklist.
idea.
singing Parla Più Piano from The Godfather.
Wow.
When I finished to sing Parla Più Piano, The Godfather, I was like a DJs too, and I had to put the song, from Il Padrino.
Boy, oh boy, that's an interesting choice to
the
go
track,
to go into the earth with mafia music. That's
yeah.
that says something
right.
about your confidence,
There
I
was a-
suppose. Yeah, all right.
You don't need to be in illegal
No.
businesses to be a godfather.
So
I
I
didn't think about that. Like, we have community godfathers.
That's true. You're right. Yeah.
So I sang the Ave Maria that day. So from his house, from the church to the cemetery, I don't know how many times, and as well as the Parla Più Piano. And back, when it was done, the guy, the person who died was at the cemetery. So the family said, "All right, so now you have to come with us. We're gonna have the
Gotta feed you.
yeah,
That's a
they
true
feed you,
Italian. Yeah,
but you need
that's
to sing.
No, wow.
Oh, they even had you singing at the repast?
Yes.
They had to get their money's worth.
Yeah.
Whatever they paid you for,
The time
they
was
were
kicking, so you say,
Yeah.
you said
They
that.
treat you like a Nickelodeon.
What a
Once they
true-
put the
what
coin
a
in, they
true
get the
Italian
bet.
ending.
Yeah.
You
Well, we got
told-
15 more minutes in that. Make sure he sings, Ma.
So you told me to, you say you just told me to sing it for the funeral, but if let me sing at the hall,
Would they sing "We're in the Money"? Da, 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 da.
You're theirs for the day.
But it's
sick people.
yeah, and but I enjoy singing. I enjoy, and especially Italian American festival. I love it.
So what is your favorite festival you've sang at? What was the one that you thought was the most enjoyable? From the perspective of the whole, like if somebody was going not to sing but just to be there.
There is this Italian festival. It's called That's Amore in Stamford, Connecticut.
Oh yeah, it's new. That's a newer one, a couple of
It's
years.
been, a couple
Yeah.
of years, and so it's nice. But there is one beautiful also in Seattle, Washington,
Yeah, I've done that.
the San Gennaro Festival,
Yeah.
and I've been there a few times. And that one, it's beautiful, and I don't know. It's always about some coincidence. The road where there is this festival it's named the same road where my parents are in Italy.
Oh, really? What's the name of the
San
road?
Angelo.
Oh, wow.
It's the same road where I was born. When I saw, I said, "What?"
That is wild.
Yes, And no, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful festival. But Italian American festival, nice everywhere. Wherever I go, I do mostly like in New England.
New England has nice ones.
Yeah.
I think New
Everywhere.
England is the gold
Yes,
standard.
Yes,
Especially
But,
Boston.
Yes, Boston. Yes, but they're beautiful everywhere. I enjoy it and sing all these Italian American songs.
Do a lot of people hire you for weddings?
Yes, I do weddings. I do everything. Sometimes now I start doing DJs too,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, music is not just opera.
Mm-hmm.
If you love music, you have to love music 360 degrees. You know, sometimes I can rap too.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, rap is a big thing in Italy these days.
Yes,
It really is, you know?
That's why you had to be smart to start having some, lesson on the new music coming up now.
I learned
You
that
know?
from our partner, Sabino, at Grown Up Italian. He's taught me, I mean, I'm not a rap fan. That's just not my kind of music, but he's taught me a lot about it, and it's a
Yes.
huge thing in
It's
Italy.
a
I'm
huge
just
thing.
sup-
The trap,
yeah.
trap. It's called trap music,
Yeah.
music, something like that, which is a big hit. And I'm trying to fusion pop opera and some modern songs too. Actually, my last song that came up is called La Notte. It's everywhere. You can find it on Spotify, YouTube, and I filmed in Italy, in this beautiful castle in Italy, and it's pop opera song. And who made the song? Do you remember the song? Vu 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 mi piaci tu. There was like a big hit like in the 90s.
No.
I Gazzosa. Their name was the singers are called Gazzosa, like
Like the soda.
Soda, yeah.
soda, and they had a big hit. And the singer, I mean, they were like back then they were like 13, 14 years old. They won the Sanremo Festival young. They were one of the winners, and now one of the singers, he's a famous tenor. His name is Federico Paciotti, and he wrote the song for me.
Mm.
And so he wrote this beautiful song, La Notte, which I brought, in attention to the Sanremo Giovani, but I was too old for the Sanremo Giovani. So I brought the song for another festival that brings you, if you win, brings you to the Eurovision. San Marino.
The Republic of San Marino,
We
Yeah.
actually know the United States.
Yeah, we know their
What is
honorary
Robert?
consul
Honorary
in
consul.
Chicago.
So the Republic of San Marino, they have
get to
their
go to
own-
Eurovision.
Right.
That's interesting.
So they do their own festival
Ah,
in
that's so
San
interesting.
Marino. Yeah. So they do their own festival in San Marino. So I passed the first audition, but the second one, I didn't make it. But that one, you can go automatically to the Eurovision.
That's such an
the-
interesting little loophole.
Yes.
San Marino,
yes.
for
And
those
believe it or
who
not,
don't know,
right.
it's an independent microstate, but it's only 2 towns. It's tiny little 2 hills
Yes,
in the middle
yes.
of Italy. But it gets to send a representative to Eurovision because it's a European country.
because
That's
they're
interesting.
independent. It's a dependent country, and it's nice because you're Italian, but you can represent an independent country.
Interesting.
It kind of like
What a great accident of history to be able to
Yes,
have your own little
yeah.
micro country. I would love that. That'd be nice,
Yes.
right? Just do what you want. No, it's
You and I would like that.
We,
You know what
it
San
would be
Marino could
great.
do? Because they have
Money.
joint monarchs. They have like
They have the co-regents, co-presidents,
We could
basically.
do that. We
Yeah.
could both have crowns.
Oh no, they're not. They're republic.
Yeah, but we
They're
wouldn't-
presidents.
But we wouldn't do the republic.
The
We'd
joint
have a
monarch
crown.
is Andorra has co-princes.
Andorra.
Well, they have a bishop and a prince.
The bishop and the president of France, who would have been back then the king of France. That's he
Yeah.
got replaced by the president.
That's right. He's
and then the
other
bishop
half.
of the Spanish diocese nearest is the co-prince.
You
That
could
would be a nice
You could be
little.
the French king. I'll be the bishop.
We need our own little
I got
micro
the
state.
wrist
Start
move.
thinking. If you got a town out there in the middle of Europe that needs co-princes, we'll come up and take it. Before we go, tell our audience a little bit about where they can find you, support you, find your work, and
Yes,
yeah.
definitely, yes. As I said, I have my couple regional songs, which was one that was when I sang the New York Con. It's called Domani, tomorrow. You can find on Spotify or the digital platform. And the last song that came up this year, it's called La Notte, which I sang at the red carpet in New York City at the Columbus Day Parade this year. It was beautiful. And you can find me on Facebook, all the social medias under Vittorio Di Carlo, the Graceful Tenor, and Instagram, of course, Instagram. I'm not at TikTok yet. I'm not feeling like
I don't know. That's a Nicky
young,
question. Nicky, what do you think?
You're too old for Junior Sanremo. You're probably too old for TikTok.
Right?
That's about. I mean,
Right? A lot of people
I
tell me, "Oh, why you don't enjoy TikTok? You're gonna have a lot of fun." I don't know. I don't feel comfortable about that.
at the recommendation of the GUI guys, I got a profile. I think I have a profile on there. Maybe Rocco helped me set it up. I don't even remember, but I don't think I've ever been on, unless somebody sends me a link.
I want to make a public thing. You said so many beautiful things about your wife.
That's true. Yeah,
Right.
you showed me
Yeah,
that.
but the
yeah.
real, can they see
Yes.
this in TV land, podcast land?
Yeah, show them.
The
Right?
real-
I'll show.
The real mark
Three
of
colors,
distinction
yeah.
is she sent us cookies.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
there are
that
three
goes
colors.
far
If
with
you
us.
see
They're
the three
beautiful,
colors-
fantastic.
I mean, she put you're gonna find the white, but there are three colors.
If Che La
Sometimes you
Luna
can-
is the national anthem of
This is the
Italian
national
America, this is
cookie.
the national cookie.
Yes.
This is the
Get out
tricolor.
there.
That's
they're
very
so
kind.
good.
And I want to say everybody
My
out there,
pleasure,
everybody
man.
talks about positive Italian American positive images in media and everything else. Go out and hire Italian American tenors and singers. Support pop opera if you have an Italian festival, because a lot of people there's a lot of people who run Italian feasts and festivals who
Yes.
watch us. Our friends are not cheap, but some festivals are cheap.
I mean,
And they go cheap on music. And then you know
Yeah.
what happens? It damages it. Because people love quality entertainment.
quality, right?
Quality. And you
Yeah,
get,
right.
when you're going to get someone to come in an age where you have their telephone keeping them busy and their shore house keeping them busy or their lake house. And there's a lot of stuff to divert them from going to these Italian festivals in the warmer months, like in the spring and summer and the
Yes,
fall.
Yes.
When you have quality in-person entertainment, quality singers, live singers on stage, not necessarily a recording of somebody, people will come out for that because that's an excellent experience. And I said so many of these feasts and festivals. What's your objective? Your objective is to promote Italian culture, you should be breaking even at the end of the year.
That's
So you
true.
got to keep a little money aside for the next year, but you should be spending that money promoting cultural activities and entertainers who've devoted their life. You took a big risk.
That's why
You left nursing to become a singer, and that's a big risk.
That's why when I check some Italian American festivals, I see that most of the singers, they're not singing Italian songs. I mean, why you call the Italian American festival when you put like a rock band? Even if you want to put a rock band that sings some Italian song, but don't put like a straight rock band or like blues or something. I mean, there needs to be something always related with Italian roots. I mean, Italian song. That's why I always will keep and still keeping, even if from like another 4 or 5 years I've been losing, going down with popularity, which I hope not. But I will always stick with Italian because I'm Italian, right? I want to, show that the Italian songs, they're what we really are.
And they're
No.
fantastic quality.
Yeah,
And you go
beautiful
through the
songs.
songs you sing, they're
Beautiful
just
songs,
absolutely fantastic quality.
I mean, I'm not saying just Italian, strict Italian, Italian American, Frank
sure.
Sinatra, Volo, all these beautiful singers, Mario Lanza, But I don't know. Sometimes some Italian American festivals, they are looking at the audience, how many people they can bring, because they can say, "Oh, I'm going to invite this Italian singer." I don't think all the people they go to see this festival are gonna listen to him because they don't know what he says, or maybe
because they don't
know
realize
the
you're going to
songs.
educate those people.
Right.
Let's look at. I always say when Pavarotti did what was that called? The Three Tenors,
Yes,
right?
right,
That
right.
revolutionized pop opera, right?
That's
that
right.
was
Yes,
a revolutionary thing that he
It's
did.
exactly the-
Yeah,
exactly the
Bocelli, I
sample.
mean-
But everybody thought he was crazy. Like if you listen to people, they're like, "You're nuts. No one's going to want to hear opera. No one's going to
Right.
hear this pop." They told him he was out of his mind. Who was more successful than him when he was in his healthy years in the
I
90s?
mean, look at Andrea Bocelli.
Andrea
Look at
Bocelli.
He's everywhere.
Well, that's the message that we could send out. So if you're out there and you are the one who books music at one of these Italian American festivals, if you are doubtful that Italian content can still draw, if it was good enough for Pavarotti, it was good enough for Bocelli, you have the Graceful Tenor right here. He is available. We're going to link all of his music, all of his hits and songs and original songs
Yes.
and contact information from our show page where you get your podcasts and on YouTube. I'm very, very grateful. Vittorio, it's been a real pleasure
No,
to
that's
have you
my
here.
pleasure. I mean, it's a dream come true.
Ah.
I love. I always follow you guys.
Yeah.
Yes, I always follow you guys. I mean, whatever I see Italian, I click. Because I'm Italian. So
So the bar is low.
Right?
That makes a lot of
whatever
sense.
But I love it. And you guys do a great job.
Thank you. That means
a
lot to us.
I
Thank
wish
you very
really
much.
good luck for everything.
You're the first Italian born in Italy that had something positive to say about our podcast. We usually get hate mail from them.
No,
You are
I
not
mean-
Italian. You do not know the Italian culture. Call yourself the American podcast. But thank you.
You know why? Because
That's-
in Italy, we start to be Americanized. It's not anymore the Italian from the 50s.
Yeah, sure.
So you go there,
Correct.
everybody speak English.
That's always the
You
culture's
see-
always in
yes.
flux, always
You see
changing.
commercial, they put all English words.
Yeah.
I mean, I was there. I was shocked. Like, wow.
There's a lot of ways. I heard. Who did I hear? An Italian speaking the other day. They used used an
now-
English word and there was
They
no
use
need
the
for it.
Boomer,
Yeah.
right? They use it. Boomer. They say boom, like generation
Ay,
Z
ay,
or
ay.
something like that. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they use all these things like a
Global world.
global word. Yes.
But if you're looking for the Italian in that global world, here's a man to bring you to it. This is a wonderful, wonderful talent and a great Italian American that we're very happy
Thank you. My
to
pleasure.
spend some
my
time
pleasure.
with.
Enjoy the biscotti.
Thank you very much. We will.
Grazie
I'm sure you're all
mille.
jealous out there. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next
That
week.
you're born an Italian. If you want your life to be great, see that you're born an Italiano and your life will be great. See that you're born an Italiano and your life